Yodelay-hoo! Hey, welcome back, guys. So, in the last video, showed you this thing. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And we discussed how this thing is made up of three things. It's made up of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And these are web technologies that are used in the browser. Now, the first one we're going to focus on today, HTML. So, what is HTML? HTML. That stands for Hypertext Markup Language. What is Hypertext Markup Language? It's basically a language that's used to describe the structure of these things known as web pages. Web pages are rendered and displayed on I/O machines or devices, I/O being known as input and output in the web. Web pages are input and output. The input, usually first sent out by the client, is known as a request. The server receives this request as input and responds back with an output. The output is what we see here in front of us, for example. This application that lets me express this idea to you guys is basically returning back to me. I'm here sending a request to draw.io, and this is going to hit a DNS, a domain name server, and that's going to map to an IP address. And that IP address is going to be the contact information of some machine somewhere in some building that these guys are paying money to keep up and running to service their clients, their customers that want to make little charts. And basically this machine says, hey, this computer with an IP address is requesting that I give it the draw application, the draw.io application. Hey, here's that draw.io application. That machine is expressing to me this structure with HTML. If I right click here, well actually if I right click here, I can inspect element and I can see the HTML. Looks rather complicated. Of course, there's a lot of processing and things that are going on between. What I'm explaining to you guys is very high level. There's a lot of little things in modern day applications happening between the request of you on your computer and the response from that server in some building that gives you either Facebook or Google. But the core idea and concept that I want you guys to understand here is that HTML is being used to express everything in the browser, everything on the internet. It's being expressed with HTML. It's the structure of it. So HTML is also referred to as the DOM, or the Document Object Model, and it's basically structured like a tree. As you can see here, the root of the tree, the start of this tree, is the first outermost parent component, HTML. These can be referred to, these little boxes here for the purposes of this concept can be referred to as elements. So here we would have an HTML element, and then inside that HTML element, as you can see, these lines that come out is children of that parent. Inside of here we have the head tag and the body tag. And yet again, recursively so to speak, we have within this body element even more other elements. Here we have the div element, we have the h1, h2, h3, we have the p tag, so many more elements. So this is going to be the first concept that I want you guys to understand, that web pages are made of HTML. And our little component, our little example today, we're going to express that first with HTML. So in the next video, we'll go ahead and get that started. If you guys like what I'm teaching, if you feel like you're understanding it and you want to see some more content, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. If you need the example files, check them out in the description below. There's a link to CodePen, so you don't have to download anything, you don't have to mess with the terminal, you don't have to start querying Google and asking it, hey, how do I do this, how do I do that, this guy's tutorial is too complicated. No worries. Click the CodePen link, check out the example here, and for now, let's slide these other tabs to the side. Let's forget about it. CSS is cool, JavaScript is cool, but right now we're gonna focus on HTML. All right, guys. See you in the next video.